mode. No more silence, every story's gotta be told. Truth in the air, no filter, no disguise. Real talk, real change, we open up your eyes. We got the voices that are changing the game. Fearless, unchained, calling our names. From the struggles to the rise, we expose, we ignite. No topic too deep when you step in the light. We got the answers, spotlight at your truth be heard. Unfiltered conversations, every thought, every word. We challenge, we question, we dive in the deep, breaking the silence. No secrets we keep. From the pain to the power, the lessons we learn. Voices of the people, let the fire burn. Dr. Donna, Dr. Laxley, leading the way, guiding the truth in a world full of gray. Experts, activists, voices untold. Everyday heroes with stories so bold. This is more than a show, it's a movement, a spark, illuminating shadows, bringing light to the dark. We got the voices that are changing, be heard. Unfiltered conversations, every thought, every word. We challenge, we question, we dive in the deep, breaking the silence. No secrets we keep. Step into the spotlight, let your truth be heard. Unfiltered conversations, every thought, every word. We challenge, we question, we dive in the deep, breaking the silence. No secrets we keep. We got the voices, spotlight, let your truth be heard. Unfiltered conversations, every thought, every word. We challenge, we question, we dive in the deep, breaking the silence. No secrets we keep. And if you want the real, then tune in right now. We're breaking down walls, no backing down. One mic, one voice, one mission tonight. Step into the spotlight, let's get it right. Let's get it right. Let's head to the spotlight. Let's get it right. What do?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to In the Spotlight. This is the home of unfiltered conversations where real talk is what we do. I am none other than Dr. Donna Thompson.
I'm Dr. Laxley Stephenson, and together we are your moderators, Fearless.
Yes, fearless we are.
And that we are, right. So, Donna, what's going on with you?
Nothing much and everything much. It's been quite an interesting day, but it's a good Thursday. The weather is nice outside, nice and warm, and getting ready for spring.
So what, it was like, 75, 76, almost 80 degrees today?
It was like 80s in some parts. Yeah.
We're talking about here in Atlanta, right?
Yes.
You know, there are other parts of the country where it's a little bit chilly and cold.
Mm-hmm.
So we ought to be grateful, right?
And they're having tornadoes and, some serious weather going on out there.
You're telling me that they're having tornadoes in other parts of this country, and sometimes you have people here complaining, oh, it's a little bit too hot, it's too chilly. Man, aren't we fortunate and blessed?
Yes, we are. And we must be grateful and thankful every single day.
You know, last Thursday we did a show and we talked about kindness. And the feedback that we've received on that show is just amazing. There's this thing that so many of us out there, we're doing work, real work, hard work, trying to make a difference. And there are so many people out there that who are not necessarily on board with that. There
Right.
is a gap, there's a need. So I think this is a great opportunity for us to appeal to anyone out there who's listening to us tonight, watching our show. Get on board with the kindness speaks and make a difference. We're living in a time where, needless to say, there's so much uncertainty. The level of uncertainty is just out the roof, right?
Right.
So now is the time that we must all come together. We're not necessarily one, but we must come together in a collaborative way and support and make a difference. Make a difference in our families, in our communities, and with strangers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, big stuff.
It's interesting that we're speaking on this because I completed a survey this week, right? And it kind of, had to do with a little bit about inclusion, right? And how different groups, how you feel included and everything. But one thing that really stuck out to me is going back to what you're saying, that you don't necessarily have to agree with someone or like them to be kind and respectful, right? To someone, because at the end of the day, we're all humans, so it doesn't take much to be kind and just be respectful of another person.
Yeah, amazing. Recently I did a lecture on next generation leaders, and I talk about collaboration. And they say when we collab, we bring everyone comes to the party. The inclusion is when you are asked to dance, when you get a chance to play a role, right? Because we can all be in the room. That don't necessarily mean we're included.
Exactly.
We're included. So yeah, big stuff, big thing, and more important than ever before. Yeah. So we must all extend that kindness. Which brings me to this, Donna. Why do we do what we do? Why do we do what we do?
Oh my goodness. Part of it is I think for myself, we're called. It's like a calling like for myself, right? It's a calling that's placed on me to make sure that in whatever capacity we're able to help people to, find themselves, find their purpose, and to help them to get on that right path, right? To get on that right path of living a purposeful life. And find what it is that they're really called to do on this planet, because we only have one go around at this. There's just one time you get to do this.
Only one?
You may have a lot of experiences, right? You may have a lot of different experiences throughout your life, but when the music stops and you're on the other side, there's no redo to come back. So I think part of what we're doing is really trying to help people to be very mindful and more aligned with what they're doing in their life, and to be more conscious about what they're doing and how they're doing it, and the difference, the impact they want to make on the world or their families or their life, their legacy that they want to leave behind. So I think what we're doing is a very important thing that we're doing.
And really and truly, the significance of the work goes without saying, right? For me, it's the why do we do it? There's no expectations. We're not expected to do anything.
Oh, no.
Right? No expectation. I don't expect Tom, Dick, or Mary Jane to do anything. And especially when some of the work that we're doing and other people are doing it's heavy duty stuff, and it's commitment. It's major commitment, and often there are no tangible returns, right?
This is so true.
Reward. So it must be a calling, right? It must
Mhm.
be. It must be. And another question that I really want to explore tonight is: are we living our values by doing what we're doing, or are we? And we talk about expectation. You know, are we doing this based on what others believe we should be doing, or someone else's expectations?
No. I can definitely flat out say no, because we have just you know, we saw the need for or for what we wanted to do, and instead of going out there and seeking to be on other individuals' platform and basically following the trend of anyone else, we just, we created our own thing.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not following anyone's blueprint, so to speak, on how to do what we're doing. And I guess that's why, like we said, it's really a calling that we have on our life, and what we're doing is because we're just doing the work that we're called to do. What that is, what it looks like, what the end result is, I have no clue. But I know that what we're doing is important, and it's impactful, and it's what we need to do at this particular time and space that we're currently in. This is what we're supposed to be doing.
And I couldn't agree with you more, because the way this movement, the collision with purpose movement, got started, it just came out of nowhere.
Mhm.
Found us, and it locked us in. It's almost like it say, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to go anywhere. No, but one final question that I want to ask on this thing here: what are we really here for doing? Right? Is this truly who we are? Is this us?
I think really deep inside there, there has to be something that deep in your soul, this is a part of who you are, in wanting to give back to the community in such a positive way. It's just coming out differently, right? It's just coming out a little bit differently, but I do think deep inside it is. And I think, if it wasn't, if it wasn't, I I don't I think there would have been struggles.
Mm-hmm.
There would have been like that pull here, pull there, should I, shouldn't I, that type of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't have that. We don't have those struggles, and that's why I think it is deep inside. It is part of us, because like we always say, you can have a conversation with someone, I can have a conversation with someone, and we may make decisions, but at the end of the day, we trust each other to know that the decision that we've made is in alignment with our vision, our goal, and our purpose, without even having to have a conversation with each other.
Right.
And so I think that is something that is a part of us, because we're on the same path.
Indeed, we are. We're on the same path, and that path is taking us to Kenya. Taking us to Kenya, June 6th, and we're going to Kenya for 14 days.
Yes.
We're going to go from New York, from Atlanta, from Jamaica, from Florida,
Mhm.
and our destination is Nairobi, Kenya. And we'll spend 3 days or 4 days and 3 nights, whatever that amounts to, in Nairobi, and from there we're going to the western region of Kenya,
Right.
where we'll be doing serious work. And the work that we're doing is we're working in schools, orphanage, we're working with cancer, people who are fighting cancer, they're supporting their children, things like that. So the work ahead is real.
Mm-hmm.
Life. It's about life. We plan to build 2 pit toilets over there, different schools.
Right.
We're going to give away sanitary pads to young girls in need. We're bringing clothes for the orphans, male, females.
Right.
What else? We're planting trees, right?
Oh, yes.
Planting trees, and we are having meetings, just supporting
Mm-hmm.
people who are struggling. People are struggling. But and another big piece, we're going there to learn, and to be better human beings.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
We're going there to be better human beings. To learn from people who are more versed and knowledgeable in certain areas than we are. It's a
Yep.
trade-off.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. It's definitely a win-win because you know it's interesting that we're going there and we think that we they may figure that we're giving so much, right? We're giving so much to them, but I find that we have so much more to gain from learning. We have so much more to gain from going there, and this trip and the experience. It's life changing because we'll gain so much from that, whether it's knowledge, spirituality, whatever it is. It's definitely a trip that it's going to impact your life one way or the other. And it's going to have a positive impact more so than anything else.
It's so interesting, right? Because you and I, we've been there, we've gone there before.
Mm-hmm.
We went there with a team, not our team, but we, there was an invitation extended, and we went there, and it was quite impactful.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're going back this time with our team. With our team, this is our initiative, a collision with purpose, and the expectations, are just very high.
Mm-hmm.
Bringing people with us, 12
Mm-hmm.
individuals with us. And one of our primary focus is to make sure that when they leave Kenya, they are willing to go back, because they will have had such an experience that will compel them to say, Kenya is a place that I want to call home,
Right.
as we have.
Correct. Yep.
As we have. Interesting, we went to Kenya, and you always remind me that we never left.
Yeah. Our bodies left, but our spirits have not left.
And for good reason, because we're Jamaicans, right? We're Jamaicans, and one of the things that was really striking and really connected with me when I was in Kenya, in the out there in the country, in the western region, I thought I was in Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was back home.
I
Yeah.
know, but when you went into the cornfields, I was like, he went into the cornfields and left me here in the bushes.
Into that cornfield, and while driving from Nairobi to Nakuru to Kitale, all them stops we made, I was eating roast corn non-stop. I was fed with roast corn,
Mm-hmm.
and trust me, it was good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it really felt like home, and because of that, we came back to the United States, knowing that we had to go back. And we're not going back on vacation. We're going back to do real life work.
Yes.
Make a difference. So we're going back to Kenya. June 6th, we're leaving Atlanta, and we're going to be there for 14 days. And it's going to be an impactful journey. So big things are happening there. And there is an announcement. There's something else big that is happening, Donna.
Mm-hmm.
Something big that is happening. And I want you to introduce this video I'm going to play, because it's huge. I want you to introduce it first, and I'll play the video, because this is the next big thing that's about to go down here in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay, sure. So what's happening in Atlanta, Georgia? It's where we are preserving the Jamaican rich culture, right? And we're inviting people to be a part of this actually groundbreaking initiative that is taking place here. So Atlanta cultural scene will actually never be the same. The Jamaican Museum and Cultural Center is about to announce something really big. And of course, everyone, you can help to be a part of this new thing that is happening. So because of our mutual love and respect for the traditions of our country, we're actually going to share this video, right? We're going to share this video, and we're asking for support of, our fellow associates, friends, family, who will help us to make this initiative and this dream become, fruitful, to make it possible. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to play that video so you can actually get a feel of what is actually about to happen in Atlanta, Georgia, from the Jamaican community.
I am Dr. Apollon Reed, President of the Jamaican Museum and Cultural Center.
I am Christine Mizuka, Vice President of the Jamaican Museum and Cultural Center.
We want to let you know that something big is about to happen in Atlanta, and you don't want to miss this.
The countdown has begun, and things are about to get electrifying.
Brace yourself, because what is coming will change everything you can imagine about Jamaica. Let us make history together. You've waited long enough. The moment is almost here.
Get ready to witness something unforgettable. We're bringing the rich history, culture, and legacy of Jamaica right to the heart of Atlanta. But we cannot do it without you.
Join us. Support the movement and be a part of something truly groundbreaking. This is history in the making, and you are a part of it.
Wow.
Wow.
History in the making.
Huh.
And you are a part of it. The Jamaican Museum and Cultural Center is coming to Atlanta. How big is that?
Oh, wow. That just gave me chills. That just really gave me chills.
Now, this is going to require work.
Mm-hmm.
All hands on deck. And early on, we talk about collaboration. We talk about jumping in the ring and doing your part, not as a spectator.
Right.
But as one who is a contributor, one who is out there doing it. So we are here appealing to not just Jamaicans, to people, no matter where you're from. But this here is going to serve not just Jamaican, it's going to serve humanity. What is happening here? It's a global initiative that promises to be bigger than life. They said something big is about to happen. And we want you to be a part of it. That's what I heard, on the screen. So big stuff. And we will continue playing this, driving it home, sharing it, and putting it out there, because something big is about to happen. Right?
Yeah.
All right. So good stuff. Let's move it. We have a guest coming on.
Ah, yes, we do.
Coming on. And but before we bring her on, let's take a quick break and come back and talk a little bit more about Kenya.
Okay.
That's what's up. What's up. All right? Let's take a quick break, then we'll come back on.
I'm a boy kid, I'm a boy kid. I'm a boy kid, I'm a boy kid. I wake up in the morning and I praise the Lord. I thank Him for His protection, and I walk in His steps, declaring that today's provision is set up for me. I love God and I love my friends. I'm a boy kid. I'm a boy kid. I'm a boy kid. I put on my armor armor, and I read his word, blessing come out of my mouth. Cause I know to whom I belong, I am bold for Christ. Holy Spirit dwelling within me, carrying his presence wherever he sends me. I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid. I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid. Loving others as he told me to pray for healing, miracles to see, knowing my identity in Christ, he is in me. I am a bold kid, he loves me, standing firm on his word, proclaiming everything I heard, not afraid because he is with me. Be bold. I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid. Put on my armor, and I read his word, blessing come out of my mouth. Because I know to whom I belong, I am bold for Christ. Holy Spirit dwelling within me, carrying his presence wherever he sends me. I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid.
Donna, I see you're rocking. What's up with that? It reminds me of when we were in Jamaica on a Global Humanity Network thing, and you was in there with a certain friend, and y'all were just partying up a storm. And now
because we worked hard that day. We worked hard that day.
So it's all about working hard and partying and have a good time, right? So welcome back to the show in the spotlight. We are here talking about the Jamaica Museum and Cultural Center and something big that's about to go down. But we're also talking about Kenya, and that's the next thing. That's the next big thing for a collision with purpose. So Donna, in two sentences, sell us Kenya in 2 sentences.
In 2 sentences. So you definitely want to support our Kenya initiative, which we will be building toilets. Of course, we will be doing sanitary towels for girls that needs it. Of course, there is a big need for that. Children cannot afford sanitary towels, which will definitely help them. And we will be building pit toilets, which of course, once again, will help the hygiene of children going to school, because currently a lot of those toilets are very dilapidated, they're falling apart, and there's a lot of safety issues and concerns. So I ask everyone to really come on board, support us with these initiatives, and you can definitely sponsor us for going there so that we can make these initiatives very prosperous and, you know, help us to make other lives better.
The great explainer. That is Dr. Donna Thompson.
Me, you know what that remind me of? You know what that remind me of? You know what? That was like my elevator pitch, right? You made me do like an elevator pitch.
That's exactly what I asked for. Your elevator pitch, and you delivered it. Oh my gosh. So we have a guest tonight. There, you know, this show is not about us. It's about school life ready. It's about the next generation, right? It's about the next generation. So we can now make sure we're ready. We can now bring her on. Bring her on, Donna.
All right. So let me just give a little bit of synopsis of who we have joining us this evening. So we have Dr. Cecelia Lynch Mitchell, who is a pediatric occupational therapist. Dr. Mitchell founded Ready Bodies, Ready Minds Incorporated, which is a developmental childcare center and clinical practice. Now her newest project, right? Her newest thing that she has is School Life Ready, which is a therapeutic program that offers therapeutic services, which include behavioral therapy, speech therapy, and occupational therapy. And her bio is so long that, you know, we're just going to have her tell us all about herself. So let's welcome Dr. Cecelia Lynch Mitchell.
Wow.
Hello,
everyone. I'm happy to be here, and it sounds so good when I hear all the things that I'm doing. Like sometimes, like I'm so busy and I'm going here and going there, and I don't really put it in a nutshell.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really nice to really like hone everything in and realizing that everything I'm doing is really in line with my purpose. There's
Mm-hmm.
nothing that I'm doing that I'm just doing just to be doing. It's really aligned with my purpose and really aligned with serving others. I mean, it was never a cognizant decision that I'm going to be doing this work. But here I am, really, really fulfilling my purpose. And I feel so grateful at this moment in my life. Like, wow, Cecelia, you are really walking in your purpose, girl. So I'm grateful. I'm truly grateful.
Wow.
Wow.
And you know, listening to you talk, just last night you was on another program as well, Walking in Your Purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, program director, the Jatron mentoring program, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Doing big stuff with that, and here you are tonight
Wow.
on another program, Walking in Your Purpose. So I commend you and encourage you to continue walking in that purpose and just doing what you're doing, because at the end of the day, it's about making a difference, and that is what you're doing. So we commend you for that. Let's talk a
Thank
little bit
you.
about School Life Reddit Talk. All right. You know, this is a whole new space for you, a podcast. How did you get there? What inspired you to want to create a platform where you can have real conversations publicly that reach real families?
Inspiration came from realizing a that I wanted to provide more help and support to families, and that by me just having my clinical practice or just working my school-based therapy job, I was limited in how many individuals I could make a difference in their lives with. But with the podcast gives me the ability to provide information and serve individuals all over the world. Once someone can come on to the podcast, or someone can watch a YouTube video or go to any of the streaming services that the podcast will be available in, they can get that information. And we all know that knowledge is power. So if the more ears and minds and bodies that I can impact, then the podcast is the vehicle to be able to reach more people. So that's why the podcast came about. It was really a matter of being able to reach more people, because I'm never one for really speaking. But then I realized that giving information verbally can be just as effective as me working one on one with patients and their families. So that's the inspiration for the podcast.
Hmm.
Wow.
Hmm. She have you saying, "Whoa." She's
You
wowing.
know, you know, I oh my gosh. So can I just back up a little bit? um, I just want to say I am so proud of you.
Thank
I
you.
am so proud of you because I remember just a few years ago when we were starting a collision with purpose. And I remember, us having a conversation with Dr. Stephenson. And even though you're doing your work, you're 9 to 5, right? But you had expressed like you never really thought about what your purpose was.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like I remember that. Like you clearly had said, I don't know what it is. I haven't really thought about it. I'm just working. And to see now a few years later you're actually realizing that you've always been living in your purpose and doing it.
You know what? And I must give credit to Dr. Laxley for starting this whole purpose driven movement, because most people, and even a lot of the people who he interviewed, didn't really think about life and living life with intention and
Mm-hmm.
living life with purpose. Like, it wasn't something that people every day get up. But now, every morning that I wake up, purpose is on my mind, right?
Mm.
And for a lot of people who have been influenced by a collision with purpose, they're now people are now, it's like a daily conversation now to talk about purpose. When people do things now, we talk about purpose driven initiatives, right?
Right.
So I have evolved, and I really give thanks to Dr. Laxley for bringing this notion of purpose to the forefront of our minds. But I must also go back to when I was a real estate agent. And Dr. Laxley probably doesn't know that. I don't think he fully understands how his influence, the type of person he is, and the type of professional he is, how he influenced me personally, because I learned so much in doing real estate that wasn't even about real estate transactions. But I
Mm-hmm.
remember he used to have meetings where we talked about oh, what was it? This, like, the secret. The book was The Secret, but what the principles of The Secret in
Entrepreneurial myth. Myth.
on the entrepreneurial myth was one of the books, and I still have that book. But the one that dealt with our mindset, right? The mindset is a key to success.
Mm-hmm.
And from I have been with Dr. Laxley from almost 20 years ago, that started cultivating um my growth as a person. Um because those, sometimes when you plant seeds, they're there, and yes, if you water them, they might grow much faster, but sometimes they're there and they're germinating, right? And then something will happen, you'll give it a dose of fertilizer and poof, you bloom. I think that's kind of what happened with me. Like, I was there germinating, just taking it easy, and then I started doing different things. And then when a collision with purpose came on board, it broadened my mind about just all the different little things that I do and how I do them, just fulfilling my purpose. So you're right, Donna. I have evolved in this short 2 year span. um, I have evolved. I've really evolved. I've evolved exponentially. Because even the program that I was on last night for the director of the mentorship, when I started that, I knew I could do it, but it wasn't wherein I was saying, this is something that is so purposeful and meaningful. It's after getting in there and learning so
Mm-hmm.
much about the impact that mentorship can have on a person's life that I started to be more intentional about making sure that this is something that I develop with, of course, with my team, develop into a maybe a world-class type of mentoring program, so
Mm-hmm.
that we can make a difference in as much lives as possible. And it's okay that, we might start slow, but this is, I like it the way it is where we are, because, and even from the meeting last night, you can see it's real life impact, real life changes that are happening. So absolutely, absolutely, I have evolved. I'm glad you remember where I was, Donna. Thanks for the reminder.
Let's back up. But this show, I'm a host. You're not supposed to be talking about me at all. So let's get back to the main game. Here's Doc and the work you're doing. I'll tell you one thing about last night's event and the mentoring program. My daughter, Tremaine, reached out to me this morning and said, Dad, I want to be a mentor. She was so impressed last
Awesome.
night.
I am so happy to see that. And I have gotten calls today from the other side where people are like, I want my child to be in that program. So, it's gonna grow. It's gonna grow.
And again, this is one thing I want to say. We're all friends, the three of us, right? We work together, and it's how amazing is it when you can have three friends come on a platform who are doing work, not necessarily to serve us, but for others. And we can have this type of conversation. For me, that is a testimony. That is the testimony that we need to see more of that out there, more people doing the work. So Dr. Cecelia, thanks for what you do, And let's take a quick break, Donna, and then we'll come back. We're going to dig into School Life Ready, because what Dr. Cecelia is doing with that is no small undertaking, and the impact is going to be so powerful. All right. And we want to make sure that we're at the Collision with Purpose. We're committing to working with her to build School Life Ready. That is our commitment here. So let's take a quick break and we'll come back on.
Caught in the web of what they said, lost in the expectations, living in hesitation. I walked in other shadows. Deep inside a fire burned, a whisper turned to a roar. I am liberated from walking in other shadows. I walk in my authentic self, breaking chains with it. You into someone you couldn't be, fighting through the darkness to find the real me. No longer bound by others' rules. Let your spirit soar. With every step you take, you are stronger than before. I am liberated from walking in other shadows.
All right, welcome back to In the Spotlight. Our guest is Dr. Cecelia Lynch Mitchell, and we're here talking about School Life Ready and other things that she's doing. So Donna, I'm give it to you because I know you have questions for Dr. Cecelia.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Dr. Cecelia, we see where you have two powerful things that's happening. You have ready bodies, ready minds, and now you have School Life Ready. Can you share a deeper connection between a child's development, school readiness, and the therapeutic services that you offer? How does those two things align?
Okay, so when I started Ready Bodies, Ready Minds in 2008, it was started with me I wanted to have a childcare center for children with disabilities. And because there was none around and there were so many children with disabilities wherein they couldn't go to regular daycares. They would, because the regular daycares didn't have the professionals to deal with them. So anyway, we started that, but there came a time when doing business, like having a great idea and having it turn into a business, it just didn't work out. So I think I had the center like for 3 or maybe 5 years. But because my dream was to have children with disabilities, the problem was not having enough of a population to run a child care center because of income and expenditures, the basics of business.
Right.
So I decided to hand off the daycare to an another individual who did more of an after school program, and then I would do more one-on-one therapy um, with kids who needed therapy. So Ready Bodies, Ready Minds was always about child development from birth to, like, say, 5 years. Like, we're always making sure that we are providing the children with the activities. So when they're in the daycare setting, they have the right activities that will promote their gross motor skills, their fine motor skills, their social emotional skills, and their cognitive skills. So we were focused on that. And then while I was doing that and I was working in the school system as my 9 to 5, I would notice that a lot of children weren't identified as having a disability until they got to school. Because it's not, well, it's like this. If you're standing on the side of the pool, you're just standing at the side of the pool, you're fine. You're fine. You don't have a disability. But if someone throws you into the pool and you can't swim, now you have a disability. So that's what's happening with kids who are coming into school, because now they're in school and they're expected to sit, attend, socialize with peers. They're expected to write. They're expected to participate in physical education. And when a child enters school, and there are all these different components that the child is required to do, when you have a child who can't sit still, can't attend, that kid now has a disability. When you have a child who can't use a pencil to write, because they can't grasp the pencil and form letters, that kid now has a disability. When this kid is supposed to be able to know that A says and remember it every time they see A, and for some reason they can't remember that A says now they have a disability. When before, when they were home playing and having fun and there were no demands, the disability was not recognized because the environment is what creates the disability, right? So I was noticing that kids were coming into school and undiagnosed, and now all these challenges. And then that's where parents, for the first time, are beginning to realize, oh my goodness, my child has a disability. More than likely, it will be labeled a learning disability, because typically that's the diagnosis for school age kids. Typically, it's like learning disabilities because it's their first time in school, right? So I said, you know what? I want So that was one aspect of it. The second aspect is that when a child has a disability and is being identified, they qualify for special education services. Now, special education services is a whole different ballpark. There is a lot of different processes that's different from a general education process. So then I would have parents who they're worried about their child having a disability. Now they have to navigate all these different avenues to get their child's services and to ensure that their child is receiving an appropriate education. So that's where School Life Ready, the company, comes into play, because there I am I'm still focusing on child development, but it's child development as it pertains to functioning in school. So it's a little bit more intricate. And I'm also helping the families to navigate the process of receiving special education and receiving the services that they get in school, because I can tell you, parents, they're in the school system, they have parent advocates, but they're few and far in between. And I have seen so many parents just come in and they're lost. They're lost. They don't know what questions to ask. They
Right.
don't know what avenues to go down. So School Life Ready is there to help parents, to provide the individual services, as well as to provide guidance on how to navigate the special education world. So that's how the two bridge. So I started off with the early intervention services, and then I went further with adding the school services, the school functioning services, to help children be good in school and have better outcomes, so that they will be prepared for when they actually leave school. Because unlike a lot of people don't understand, like there comes a point wherein you have to start looking at, when you have a child with special needs, you can't just wait. You have to start looking into what you want for your child for when they age out of school. You have to, depending on the level of disability, depending on your child's cognitive skills, your child's life skills, coping skills, you have to start thinking, okay, when there's not school, what is my child going to be doing? So, and you can't wait till the child is in 12th grade for you to start thinking about it. You have to start thinking early. So that's part of what I help parents to do, to start understanding the process of what happens. And there's another thing. When a child gets to 18, it's whether their cognitive function is high or low. Once a child is 18, they're considered an adult. So you might have a special needs child that is 18 but is functioning at a 3-year-old level, but you still cannot guide that child because that child is now an adult. So there are certain processes that the parent has to go through to get the, oh my gosh, I forgot the word, but it's to be able to speak on behalf of the child. Then guardianship.
Guardian.
Right, the parent has to get guardianship. So parents need to know all these things way ahead of time. So School Life Ready is here with our services to help parents navigate through the different challenges that are involved in having a child with disability, and just ensuring that we're doing everything so that child can be as successful as possible as an adult.
That's a lot to unpack there.
That's a lot. I know. It is a lot. It is a lot.
But it's something we need to dig in. And the thing that is catching me is the power of early support.
Mhm.
It's a big deal. Big deal. It's a core message from School Life Ready Talks, right? Core message. So what can parents do to become a little bit more proactive?
Well, we need to get the School Life Ready talks blasting on all the different which it's coming, so that they need to listen to programs like mine. They also need to speak speak to every child who is has an eligibility, has what's called a case manager at school, talk to your case manager and find out what resources are out there for your child. Um, talk to your pediatrician. Um, keep up to date with different school events, because I know the school system that I work in, they have, normally it's yearly events, but yearly events to help guide parents. They're just, oh, and there's a great organization here in Georgia called Parent to Parent. They cover all topics. It's parent2parent.org. They cover all topics as it pertains to families with children with disabilities. So just definitely look for those free resources and start there.
Mm. And how can someone who wants to get more information, how can they get more information, and where can they see your program, School Life Ready Talk?
Well, we're going, the podcast is, we're starting off with the episodes next week. We have live episodes every Tuesday at 7:30 where we discuss different topics. It will be on, um you'll be able to get it on Facebook at School Life of, and if you go to the Facebook page, go ahead and follow School Life Ready, the page, the Facebook page. Make sure you follow that so you can get the information coming to you. Also, we'll have a YouTube channel, which is School Life Ready. The channel is School Life Ready, and then we'll have the different videos uploaded onto the YouTube channel.
Awesome. And I'm about to share the link for the Facebook page. This is okay, so that's in the chat, School Life Ready. And as Dr. Cecelia said, it's also on YouTube, and I imagine it's going to be on LinkedIn and other platforms and Instagram, everywhere. It's going to be everywhere. This kind of information.
We're waiting to get a little bit more approval from LinkedIn, but Facebook, it will be on that page, and the YouTube.
Yeah, this is the kind of information you don't want to store. You want it to flow. You want it to be out there. And again, here at A Collision with Purpose, we're committed. We're locked in step with Dr. Cecelia and School Life Ready Talks. We believe and we know that this is important information, right? We're all parents. We're all parents, and we have friends who are parents, and we are vested in the next generation.
Yes, and although the show is geared for parents with kids with disabilities, children are children. So every parent can learn something from this podcast, because child development is child development. Child behavior management is behavior management. We had a great episode that we'll be putting out shortly on behavioral strategies and how to calm a child who's having a tantrum. And I know whether your child has a disability or not, your child has had a tantrum at some point. And so the strategies that are given are normally really universal strategies, right? Being a child is being a child. So everyone can learn. And there are different little things, like your child might not have a diagnosed disability, but your child might struggle in certain areas that you're like, oh, I never thought about doing so and so. So this show has great tips for parents. It's really an amazing show. And my co-host Jen, who was not able to make it on tonight because her children had a program at church, and I guess the program ran longer than it should, and so she sends her apologies. But my co-host is a parent of two children with disabilities, and she has been through the journey, so she can share ideas. Parents will be able to relate to her, and she can relate to parents because she has been there. But the most important thing is that she can offer so much hope and support and positivity to this whole process of being a parent with a child with special needs. So it's really a great program. We have fun. We talk about serious topics, but our mindset is such that of positivity and hope that we just have a lot of fun. And I know parents who are listening will feel the same way. Like, it's fun. Yes, we're dealing with real serious issues, and but at the end of the day, we are going to enjoy ourselves as we go through this process. It doesn't need to be a painful process. There are lots of bright moments, and as parents go through the journey, they'll tell you there are more bright moments than sad moments. So, we this podcast is here for parents, for all parents.
What a purpose served, Donna.
Right, absolutely. So let me ask you, Dr. Cecelia, with therapies like occupational and behavioral and speech therapy, how can that change the trajectory of a child's life if started early?
All right. So the reason we always recommend starting early is the brain is plastic, right? So our brain is able to change the younger we are.
Mm.
We used to have a saying, you can't teach old dog new tricks. You can teach old dog new tricks. It's not that you can teach old dog new tricks, but the dog takes a little bit longer to learn it and the time, right? So it's best to start early, start real early. Once, my thing is, all parents right now, start focusing on your child's development. From the moment you give that birth to that baby, start keeping in your mind that your child needs to move. Because movement creates the brain changes that we need. So movement build cognitive skills, right? So that's why, like, back in the days when you would hear about orphans in Russia who are left in the crib and don't get any movement or any stimulation, they would have cognitive difficulties, right? So the way to really build your child's brain is to provide sensory stimulation and movement. And just always make sure you start with that. More tummy time in their early development. I know a lot of people, they're like, oh, but the doctors say I shouldn't put my baby on their tummy to sleep. Do not put your baby on their tummy to sleep if you're not able to watch them and make sure that their breathing isn't obstructed. But guys, please put your babies on their tummies as much as possible. Tummy time is crucial for child development, extremely crucial. So the reasons once we see that something is going wrong, whether it be with our child's articulation skills or just overall speech development, speech production, understanding of language, or we see that our child is having difficulties with using their motor skills or having difficulty with processing sensory information, it's best to start those therapies early. Don't sit and wait and say, oh, they'll grow out of it. There is no harm in starting the therapy early, but if there's harm with you sitting and waiting, thinking it's going to go away, it's going to get better, go ahead. If you can get a consultation with a therapist, to just start, to just, just get that therapy early. The earlier, the better, because that's how the brain is. We can make changes earlier. So everything started early.
I don't know what that is saying about me. Making changes. I have some time on me, I have clocks of hours.
Don't worry, the brain, we have older people who have suffered strokes or have had, car accidents and have had traumatic brain injuries and stuff. The brain can heal. It still can heal. So you have a good brain, there's no injury, you can't keep learning new things. You
Absolutely.
can, your rates of, but even if we look at how kids learn the computers and stuff, nobody sits there and teach them that. But for us at our age, we're like, okay, can you show me how to do this again? Yeah,
Anyway,
kids.
that is not our story. Our story is that we're going to keep evolving, growing, learning, because we are
Lifetime learners.
We're new starters and we're lifetime learners. Absolutely.
Lifetime learners.
Let's talk about a community with a calling, right? There's such a need. The need is so great for what you offer. So let's talk about your vision for School Life Ready Talks, right? Moving forward, how do you hope to grow this platform? Because this is not a show, it's a movement. And that's how we want to refer to it. It's not just a show. What do you have any specific plans, or are you still working through that? How are you going to build this thing out into a movement? Because it needs to be.
You know what? I don't have specific plans, but when I've spoken to my co-host, who is a mother of two, who it's because of community wherein she has been able to help her children thrive. And I was a part of her community, right? Because at first I started treating her older son with occupational therapy when he was diagnosed with autism at 2 years. I started treating him when he was 3 years. So, I think I was his first therapist, and I was her community. And even after I stopped treating her child because they had moved away and was no longer coming to the clinic, I kept in contact with her. She kept in contact with me. She would call me if she had any questions pertaining to child development or pertaining to navigating the special needs program at her school. And I was always there. So what I want is for School Life Ready Talks to bring in more professionals, to bring in more parents, and to build out this community covering all aspects of child development and child's needs and transitioning from the different school levels and transitioning from school into the workforce, right? So we want for all these professionals to come on board. We do have plans. We do have professionals that we have identified to be able to come onto our program to provide other information, because I may know a lot, but I don't know everything, right? So we want to really build this out to be a community of therapeutic professionals and parents and friends and supporters to be in on the conversations, because it really does take a village to support each other, right? So that's what I want, and I know that's what Jen wants as well, because we have had that conversation. And even in our podcast, we always let people know we are here for you. And if you know of another program, because we have also said this, if you know of another program that can be like partner with us so that we can share the information, please educate other people about this program. Tell us about the program. Maybe we can liaison and we can, because that's how we support each other. It doesn't make sense I just have information and just keep it telling to one group of people and another podcast that's similar, just another group of people. We need to band together so that this information can reach as many people as possible. So that's the vision that I have for School Life Ready Talks, just really building a community, sharing and integrating information into our daily lives. And the how I'm going to measure what's going on is when we have people like Jen who are saying, I was here with my child. Now we're here based on the information that I've received. And that is all that we want. That's all that we want.
That is it in a nutshell. You know, I just want to add, to what you just said, that School Life Ready Talk is not about you building a program. It's about you providing necessary, critical, essential information to parents. And that's why collaborating with other organizations, other entities, and other individuals is so important. Because it's not about you building a program. It's about providing resources.
Absolutely.
Just wanted to, add that. Donna?
I'm not going to ask a question, but I'm not going to ask a question just yet. But when we speak of community, right? I totally am on point with you, and I'm going to say it here live, that as a parent who has been through the system, currently in the system with my child on an IEP, I am more than willing to be a guest on your show some days.
Awesome. I would love to have you.
I have been through the journey.
Thank you for that. And thank you for that. And just it's amazing that I am also, so I mean, I've been a therapist for over 25 years, right? But in doing the podcast and researching, I am learning so many new things. And so to have Jen as a parent on, and now to have you coming on, I know that we're all going to grow, right? So we're giving out information, but we're also getting information, right? And the more parents that come on, and the more the different perspectives and points of views, and as a scientist, I'm all about evidence. But really getting the evidence-based research practices to be able to share those with parents is key, is really key. So I'm really looking forward to having you on. Really looking forward to having you on.
It's
and for the listeners out there, who you have a background in child development, psychology, behavior, you're a physical therapist, occupational therapist, speech therapist, or just someone with a story, I am looking forward to having you on as well, because that's how this community is going to grow.
Absolutely.
Mike is yours, Donna.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You have my 500%, if there's such a number, 500% support. Because
Thank you.
as
Thank
a
you.
parent, it was my world. It has been my world. And for parents who go through that, it can be a very daunting and lonely world, and not having support and knowing where to go. And it can be very challenging. So I commend you. I commend you for what you're doing, and definitely encourage all our listeners to support Dr. Cecelia as much as you possibly can, because there's so many parents out there that needs a community outside of their immediate community, right? You need an extended community. But with that said, my next question for you: what role does faith, family, and community, which you just spoke about, play in the healing process? And how do those themes show up in your conversations on the show?
You know what? We haven't really delved into that. I personally believe that a person's faith is their own. Like what I share from my faith may not necessarily be what um another parent or another therapist or what. So I kind of leave that to be a more personal issue. For me as a practicing therapist, my motto is always, I don't judge parents because I'm not where I see what they're going through, but I'm not going through the same things that they're going through. So I really give parents grace. I always give parents grace. There are so many times that, you know, I'll say like, oh, she's not practicing the exercises, and I know she's not doing that. But then I have to find a way to be more encouraging
Mhm.
to get because so I'm just using that as an example, because if the more you exercise and the more frequently you do the exercises that the therapist provide you, your outcomes are better and quicker. And you know, as a therapist, that's what I want. So what I try to do is just be encouraging and understand that people will have to do things in their own time, and my job is to give them the grace and the encouragement to get it done. And so I take that approach. I'm very empathetic to parents because we know, and as and as you know as a parent too, you going through the process and dealing with other things in life and everything, sometimes it can be real overwhelming. So I try to encourage parents to, for some people, we pray, and for some people, we meditate,
Mhm.
whatever it is that they do in alignment with their belief and their faith, to do those things, because we do know prayer and meditation kind of has the same effect on you, because when you pray you believe, and we know that belief, having belief, gives you positive outcomes. So that's how, in my way, in bringing faith and community, is I leave the faith to the individual, that part of it, but I use the encouragement and empathy and believing in the possibilities as the way to generate outcomes that we want for the child or for the family or for the mom or the dad, whoever is going through the process.
All right. Thank you for that. As important as faith is, it's theirs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's quite understandable. All right. So as we get ready to close, I have one more question, and we will give you an opportunity to give us your closing piece. Now, for parents out there who are overwhelmed, tired, just beat up, unsure of what to do next, what is that one message you want to leave with them tonight?
Sometimes when you don't know what to do nothing. I don't know who said that, but somebody said that. And that's kind of like my philosophy. Sometimes when you don't know what to do, just do nothing.
Mm.
Always take care of yourself first as a parent. Take care of yourself first. Make sure that you are happy and healthy, because if you're not, your child is not going to be. So that would be my first. Take care of yourself first and get yourself into the mindset wherein you are now at a regulated state. You're not in overwhelm, because when you're in overwhelm, you're not going to think straight. So get yourself into a regulated state, and then you can look at the situation that's ahead of you, and then you can decide how you're going to go. And guess what? If you go away and it's not the right way, don't sweat it, right? Just come back again. I was listening to a podcast on motivation, and the guy said, in life, we should care, but we should not carry. Meaning, you care about something, yes, but don't let it weigh you down. Care, but don't carry it. Don't carry it around with you everywhere you go, and you have this nagging thought, you have this on you, whatever. Learn to, yes, you care about something, but don't let it weigh you down. So that's what I want for parents to understand. Take care of themselves first. Don't do anything when you're feeling overwhelmed. Stop, smell the roses, then reassess the situation, and then make a plan from there.
All right. Thank you for that. Now, Dr. Cecelia, closing thoughts.
Closing thoughts. Oh my goodness. Okay. So, closing thoughts. Dr. Laxley, thank you so much for everything that you have done without you even knowing that you're doing all this stuff. And Donna, thank you so much for all that you do. And I know that both of you guys and myself, we have been on a journey of purpose and doing things. And I am really in awe of the three of us for the things that we're doing to help others. And I just want for everyone who is listening to understand that we all have a purpose, and I hope that everyone will walk in their purpose. I found mine serving families and children with disabilities. I never knew this is what I would be doing. That wasn't my plan. I planned on being a flight attendant. Um, but here I am, and I'm really enjoying what I'm doing, and I'm very passionate about serving children and serving their families, whether the children have special needs or not. I'm very passionate about serving children. I want for everyone who is on here tonight to go to the Facebook page and follow me at School Life Ready. Please do that, because I'm dependent on you guys who are here on this show to help me and other therapists and my co-hosts and other families receive the information. So we're going to rely on you guys to, we'll do it. We'll grow, but we're going to need whoever is here now to go follow me on School Life Ready, and so that we can grow, so more people can get this information, because this is information that is really needed. It's really needed. And the thing about our information, we give you not just the information, but we give you actionable steps that you can take every day in your life for you and your children to have happy, healthy lives.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Cecelia. I'm going to go next. And, Donna is a closer, right? No one can close like Donna, like Dr. Donna. So, it's how often do you come on a platform like this with 3 friends? How often, right? I've known both of you for a long time. We've done work together, meaningful work for a long time, and I just want to say to you, Dr. Cecelia, I thank you for what you're doing, but for our friendship, because there's nothing like that, right? We have been there for each other, but I'm especially grateful for what you decided to do with School Life Ready Talk. And as you know, I'm a big supporter of your program, because I believe in it.
Thank you.
I believe in it 1,000%. So I just want to encourage you, no matter how difficult things can be sometimes, and sometimes things are challenging, right? Sometimes things are challenging. Just continue to keep your eyes on the prize, where you're heading. Keep pushing forward. Don't let anyone deter you from your purpose, because your purpose is not about you, it's about serving others. And that's a purpose that is what we call purpose personified, when you're serving others. So just continue to do what you're doing. At A Collision with Purpose, we're here to support you in any way we can. We believe in the work that you're doing. So
thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us. And, we started tonight by asking the question, why do we do what we do? Sometimes we don't even know why we're doing it. We don't even know why we're doing what we're doing. But guess what? And we came to the conclusion, Donna, that it's a calling. Because if it was a decision, sometimes we wouldn't do it. Because the burden can be heavy sometimes, right? To get up, do it inside out, do it again tomorrow. So we came to the conclusion that it is a calling. We're called to do it. And because we understand and recognize that it's a calling, we cannot let anyone out there nowhere stop us from doing the work. It's too important. And that's what I want to say to you, Dr. Cecelia. I want to repeat again. Continue to make it happen. You're doing it at Global Humanity Network, right? As the program director for the mentoring program. And that's all about building capacity. And here you're doing it with School Life Ready Talk. You're doing it again. So continue to do it. Donna, you, my friend, again, known for how many years? I don't know. A long time. Long time. And again, I just want to commend you for doing what you do. You're the vice president of Global Humanity Network. You're the vice president. You're the co-owner of A Collision with Purpose. And the work that you're doing here, I know I couldn't do it without you. So I want to tell you publicly, So we're public tonight. Cecelia was public earlier. I will be public now. Yeah, so we need each other, and we'll continue to work and serve each other in whatever initiative. We don't even question what it is, because we know whatever it is something good. So we support it, right? So with that, I'm going to give it to you. There's some folks we should recognize: Chrison, Hilda, we have Rosemary, we have Caricia, and many others that join us tonight. We thank you for joining us, and I'm going to give it back to Donna.
All right. So I know we are at the hours, and so much more to talk about, right? Dr. Cecelia, we definitely will be, we're extending an invite for you to come back, because there's so much more to talk about. I do want to, let you know that we are proud of you. We definitely want you to continue on the path that you're on, just like what Dr. Stephenson said. I echo exactly what he says. We're here to support you 100 and whatever %, right? We're all on deck. So continue doing what you're doing. Thank you for being here with us this evening. To our listeners, thank you for joining us this Thursday evening. Thank you for staying on with us. And we hope that, like every week, you have gotten something from this show that will help you to move forward in your life or your friendship, whatever it is. But we hope that you found value in what we brought to you here this evening. And with that, I am going to ask each and every single person, like always, tomorrow is Friday. It's the end of the week. It's the greatest day to go out there and do an act of kindness for someone, a stranger. Do something nice for someone. You'll be sending them into a wonderful weekend so that they can have a great weekend. With that, do be safe this evening. Be safe for the remainder of the weekend, and just have a wonderful remainder of the week. And thank you for joining us in the spotlight.
Step into the spotlight. Couple lights on, cameras roll. Time to break the mold. No more silence, every story's gotta be told. Truth in the air, no filter, no disguise. Real talk, real change. We open up your eyes. We got the voices that are changing the game. Fearless, unchained, calling our names. From the struggles to the rise, we expose, we ignite. No topic too deep when you step in the light. We got the answers, spotlight at your truth be heard. Unfiltered conversation.